The Incredible Journey of Photon Pete. A Tale of Light, Life, and the Universe. Deep within the heart of the sun, where the pressure was immense and temperatures soared to millions of degrees, a process as old as the stars themselves was taking place. Hydrogen atoms were being squeezed together, fusing into helium in a process known as nuclear fusion. This process released an enormous amount of energy in the form of light and heat, and it was in this energetic heart of the sun that Photon Pete was born. A tiny packet of light called a photon, full of potential and excitement for the journey ahead. The sun's core was a chaotic, almost timeless place. For Pete and the other photons, it was like being in the middle of a crowded, bustling city, with atoms colliding and moving in every direction. Pete had to wait patiently for millions of years, bouncing between particles and weaving through the dense plasma of the sun's interior, before he could even think about reaching the surface. The journey was long, but Pete didn't mind. He knew that one day, when the time was right, he would be released into space, free to travel at the speed of light. Finally, after countless years of collisions and detours, the moment arrived. Pete had made it to the outer layer of the sun, and with a final push of energy, he broke free into the vast expanse of space. In an instant, Pete was hurtling through the cosmos at a staggering 186,000 miles per second, the speed of light. For the first time in his existence, Pete was able to see the universe spread out before him. Stars twinkled in the distance, and planets, moons, and asteroids floated through the darkness. Pete zipped past Mercury, the smallest and closest planet to the sun, its rocky surface shimmering from the intense solar heat. He then passed Venus, the second planet from the sun, which was covered in thick clouds of carbon dioxide that trapped heat and made it glow like a fiery jewel. But it was Earth that truly captivated Pete's attention. Unlike the other planets, Earth shimmered with shades of blue and green, white clouds swirling across its surface, and vast oceans glimmering under the sunlight. Pete had heard stories about Earth from other photons who had made the journey before him. It was a place teeming with life, where his light would have a special purpose. Excitement surged through him as he sped toward this vibrant, living planet. As Pete entered Earth's atmosphere, something magical happened. The dark void of space suddenly transformed into a brilliant blue sky. He passed through layers of air, where oxygen, nitrogen, and other gases danced and mixed, creating a protective blanket around the planet. Pete could feel the atmosphere slowing him down slightly, but he was still moving incredibly fast. Below, he saw the stunning beauty of Earth, towering mountains, rolling forests, sparkling lakes, and wide stretches of ocean. As he flew closer to the surface, Pete noticed a wide field filled with bright yellow sunflowers, their large faces turned upward, eagerly awaiting the sun's rays. Pete chose one of these sunflowers as his landing spot, and with a soft touch, he settled on its golden petal. It was here, on the sunflower's petal, that the next part of Pete's adventure began. Inside the sunflower's leaves and stems, tiny cells were hard at work, capturing light and turning it into energy through a process called photosynthesis. Pete's light was absorbed by chlorophyll, a green pigment in the plant cells, and his energy was used to break down water molecules and create sugar, the food that the sunflower needed to grow. As Pete watched the magic of photosynthesis unfold, he realized how important his journey had been. Without light like his, plants couldn't make food, and without plants, animals and humans wouldn't have the oxygen they needed to survive. Pete had always known that photons were essential, but now he truly understood just how deeply everything on Earth was connected. Days passed and Pete's energy continued to fuel the sunflower, helping it grow taller and stronger. Bees buzzed around the field, collecting nectar from the flowers and spreading pollen from plant to plant. Birds perched on the sunflower stems, chirping in the sunlight. And eventually, the sunflower seeds would become food for humans, passing on the energy that had started with Photon Pete's journey from the sun. But Pete's adventure didn't end there. As the day turned into night and the sun set below the horizon, Pete's energy slowly dissipated. The sunflower closed its petals for the night, resting in the cool evening air. Pete, along with millions of other photons, was released back into the atmosphere, where he floated among the particles of air, reflecting off the surface of the oceans and rivers, and even bouncing off the leaves of trees in the moonlight. Pete's journey through the universe continued. Over the next few days, he found himself part of different scenes. One morning, he was absorbed by a drop of dew resting on a blade of grass. As the sun rose higher in the sky, Pete's energy caused the droplet to evaporate, sending water vapor into the air to join the cycle of rain. Another day he was reflected off the wings of a butterfly, creating a shimmering effect as the creature flitted through a garden of wildflowers. As Pete traveled, he encountered other photons that had come from distant stars, some much older and larger than the sun. They shared stories of galaxies far beyond Earth, of black holes and nebulae, of planets with rings and moons made of ice. Pete listened in awe, realizing just how vast and mysterious the universe truly was. Eventually, Pete's journey would take him beyond Earth's atmosphere again, back into the darkness of space. But for now, he was content to be a part of the cycle of life on this beautiful blue-green planet. He marveled at how something as small as a photon could have such a big impact on the world. Every sunrise, every rainbow, every glimmer of light in the eyes of a living creature. It all came back to photons like Pete, traveling across the universe, bringing light and energy wherever they went. And so Photon Pete continued his adventure, shining brightly and lighting up the world in ways both big and small, knowing that no matter where he went, he would always be a part of something larger and more wondrous than he could ever imagine.